What's up, everybody? My name is Scott Waters. Welcome to No Life Till Metal. Gonna be doing a rock metal update. That's right, rock and metal update. I've been doing that same stupid intro for probably 8 years now, but whatever, it's fun. It actually makes me laugh, so you gotta be able to laugh at yourself. But hey, I got a 7-inch vinyl video. I know those are not my most popular videos, but I've just been buying up a lot of 7-inch singles recently, just been in that mood, you know, collecting singles. So I do have a 12-inch vinyl video coming up and a few others. Going to be showing off my UFO collection as well, my UFO 7-inch collection. But I met with a friend, a new friend, whose name is Rob, and he lives here in New Mexico, and I bought a small collection from him, and I'm going to be showing some of that. But I also bought this old school little 45-inch holder with the fox leather. I don't know, he's charging like $5, which is cool, so I really like this thing. So what I'm using it for now is to put all the singles in that I'm going to be showing in my next video, and rather than just having them piled up on my desk, so it's kind of a cool little thing. But yeah, I got a big pile of stuff that I've been collecting since before Christmas, and it doesn't include the small collection that I bought from him, which is mostly Judas Priest singles, but there's a few others in here too, so I'm going to get right into that. I don't want this to be a super long video, but I do want to show off some of these things. First one I'm going to show doesn't actually fit in that case because it's a little oversized, but this is I believe a UK pressing of United with Grinder, and it's one of those poster sleeves, so you can see it's on the CBS label. Let me just pull that poster out. It probably will never be pulled out again after this video. It's just one of those, you know, I don't want it, it's just a fragile thing, and I don't want it to get any more beat up. But then you can kind of see there's the like I said black and white, but it's actually black and silver. You can see that really bright reflection. That's because they used metallic ink. So and then here's the poster side of it. So yeah, really cool. I've never owned this one, and Rob was almost not wanting to give it up, but he did, which was nice of him. I mean, of course, I paid for it, but I just know how hard it is to part with your collection. I've done it before, and it's not easy when you know. But he did sell me a bunch of different Judas Priest 7-inch singles. A couple of them I did have, and I have already passed those on to a friend. But these ones that I'm showing are all ones I didn't have that I picked up from him. So there you go. That's United with Grinder. Special offer, a full color poster inside. So there you go. There's that one. And then this is cool. It's not in the right sleeve, and I'm going to keep an eye out for the sleeve, but this is the white label promo for Beyond the Realms of Death. Now that is a cool single. Of course, it's upside down. On the CBS label, UK pressing. Awesome single. I mean, I love collecting Judas Priest singles, but it's just not one you see around very often, so I was really glad to pick that one up. Now, this one I did have, but his copy was different than mine, so I'm keeping it. But this is the Breaking the Law single, and it is like a gatefold. And I've shown this one in videos before. The difference being that this one actually has a sticker on it, which obviously says patch enclosed. And I've never owned the one with the patch enclosed. Mine was a gatefold, but it didn't have the sticker that says that, nor did it have the patch. So his is complete. So it's got the gatefold picture of the band live, which is cool, and then it's got the patch, which is pretty fragile. So it's not something I'm going to be, you know, messing with too much. But there's the British steel patch that comes inside of it. It's kind of a, I don't know what that material is, kind of a satin patch. And I guess you peel it, and the patch portion is underneath because you can kind of feel it in there. But regardless, just a cool little collector's piece. And I'm a Judas Priest fanatic, so glad to have that one. And again, that came from his collection. This is one that I've wanted forever, and I just could not find a copy. I don't know why. I've had friends in the UK searching for copies for me. My buddy Steve, who does videos out of the UK, was looking for copies for me, and I just couldn't find one. But this is, you got another thing coming, one of their biggest hits. US pressings did not have this cool sleeve, so that B-side is a live version of Exciter, which is one of my all-time favorite Priest songs. There's actually two versions of that. So here is the picture disc version of the same one. Here's the picture sleeve version. Same tracks on both of them. They both have Exciter live on the B-side. Nice to have both of them. So again, from that same collection. This one's really nice. Japanese Judas Priest singles hardly ever show up, and this is a really nice one. So you got Free Will Burning on the Epic label. What's on the B-side? I can't recall now. It should say on the front here somewhere. Oh, a live version of Breaking the Law on the B-side. I think a live version of Breaking the Law is probably one of their most... I mean, I think that's singles on, on every B-side. Never was one of my favorite Priest songs, but I love Free Will Burning. That's a great song off Defenders of the Faith. This next album never been one of my favorites, but again, it's Priest, and I didn't have this particular single. So this is Turbo Lover, backed with Hot for Love. Again, this is, Priest going for a more commercial sound in the mid to late 80s when they were trying, trying to keep up with what was going on in the world at the time. I mean, bands like Def Leppard were dominating the scene with that super clean sound, and those synth guitars were popular at the time, and that's kind of what you got with this. So it never was one of my favorite records, but again, anything Priest is welcome in my collection. So those are the Priest records that I bought from him that I kept in my collection. Very cool. But I also got these ones from him too. This next one is really cool. I've never seen a picture sleeve for this. So this is ZZ Top. That's pretty cool. So this is LaGrange, Beer Drinkers and Hellraisers, and I believe this is a French pressing, if I'm not mistaken, on the London label. I love this era. I mean, I love the 70s era of ZZ Top, so this is really cool to have. And then I picked this one up from him too. This is from, I don't know, around 2000, 2001. This is Destruction doing a cover of Metallica's Whiplash, as you can see. And it has a live version of The Final Curtain, live in Germany, I believe, on the B-side. This is on a red vinyl. He actually had several different colors available. I think he had... I know he had blue. I think he might have had a black version or maybe a gray version too. I only bought the one, and he asked me which color I wanted, and I'm like, I don't know, man, you choose. I wasn't real picky about the color, but kind of cool. It's kind of a red, but it's got kind of a bunch of marbling in it. I'm not sure how well it's going to show up in the video, but very cool. Alright, so that was the collection that I bought from him. I also picked up a few things that I'm going to be showing in a separate video that were not, vinyl, so I'll show those in another video. But moving on to other stuff that I picked up in the last few months. This one I got fairly cheap. This is I'm going to say late 70s pressing of Alice Cooper's $1 Billion Babies, backed with Mary Ann. Obviously, it's not an original pressing from the early 70s, or it would have been on the green Warner Brothers label. But this was a jukebox single. As you can see, the jukebox clip is in it. It is definitely in the wrong sleeve. It did come in a Warner Brothers sleeve, and I do have some extra Warner Brothers sleeves from that era, so I will be replacing it. But this is how I purchased it, with the little jukebox slip. Got it for cheap, and it's in good shape. It does have a little bit of the stridations from being in a jukebox forever, but I mean, I played it and it plays fantastic. So it's funny, but the Mary Ann, the B-side, looks like it's never been played. It probably never was. And, they probably only played the A-side and $1 Billion Babies because it was one of his more popular cuts. All right, next up, this is Anthrax with Public Enemy and Bring the Noise, and this is actually a single-sided single. So it's only got the one song on it, which is Bring the Noise. This is a UK pressing. I picked this up from a UK seller because I've been looking for a copy forever, and he listed it in VG Plus condition. Now, I played it, and it plays okay, but man, I don't know how well it's going to show in the video. But this thing has got a lot of marks on it, as you can see. Yeah, you can definitely see in the reflection there. It's just some of the marks. It does play without skipping, so that's cool. But yeah, I was a little disappointed that it wasn't in the condition I was expecting it in. And I guess that's the gamble you take when you buy stuff online. But the B-side has got it's got an etching on it, and there's a little note on there that says "Play other side," because I'm sure if you put this side on your turntable, it'll tear your needle up. So there you go. Bring the Noise, featuring Public Enemy. I'm not sure if it was the whole band or just Chuck D that was actually on the song, but I like the song. I like the original Public Enemy version, and I like the Anthrax version even more. I think they did it. It was a fun collaboration, but I also like the Aerosmith collaboration they did with Run DMC. So, not a huge rap fan, but I actually liked a lot of the stuff from the 80s, and this is one of those songs. So I thought it was cool. A lot of people thought it was a sellout thing. You know what? Whatever. They did what they wanted. I think it would be more of a sellout if they hadn't done it, despite liking the style of music. So the next couple are cool. Never seen a single from this guy before. I love Uli Roth era Scorpions, and I love the Electric Sun stuff. And this is a single from Electric Sun. You just do not see these anywhere, and I was surprised to find this picture sleeve single, and for a decent price at that. So you've got The Night the Master Comes and Return, both original Uli John Roth tracks, both from the Beyond the Astral Skies album. It's funny, you know, it's got Uli John Roth's huge letters and Electric Sun, itty bitty on here. First two albums, it was Electric Sun, but obviously Uli John Roth it was all him. It was all his sound, you know, his songs, and it's you know, it's Uli John Roth, but the name of the band was Electric Sun. So cool single. I think this is a UK pressing. I don't know. I didn't look that up for the video, but it doesn't matter. It's still Uli John Roth. So oddly enough, right around the same time I picked up that Uli John Roth single, a buddy of mine sent me a link to a very cheap single on eBay for Uli John Roth. It's for the same song, and that's actually the same single, but it's just in a generic sleeve. Apparently there was two different versions of this. One came in the picture sleeve and one came in a generic sleeve. I don't know that this black sleeve is what it was originally sold in, or if whether it was in a EMI sleeve or just a plain white sleeve. I've yet to look that up, but I will check to make sure it's in the correct sleeve. But still, Uli John Roth singles, you just not something you see every day, so I was glad to pick that up. This one I actually picked up for a friend, so it's not staying in my collection. I already have this. I've actually, every time I see this for a decent price, I grab it because I love this band and I love this song. So this is Raven with Udo Dirkschneider, John Gallagher and Udo just trading off vocals on the baddest version of Born to Be Wild ever. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of that song. A lot of bands have covered it, but nobody did it better than these guys right here. This song is just so over-the-top outrageous. If you've never heard it, do yourself a favor and check it out. I believe the B-side is Inquisitor. So it's a new version of Inquisitor with, again, Udo Dirkschneider trading off lyrics with John Gallagher. Just a fantastic 7-inch single EP. They had a 12-inch EP with the Ballad of Marshall Stack on it as well. So, yeah, this is fantastic. Again, I picked this up for a friend, so it's not staying in my collection, but I thought I'd show it anyhow because I really like this single. I've probably picked up 10 of these things over the last few years. Every time I see them, I grab them. So I think I have 2 in my personal collection, and I've sent them off to several different friends. And like I said, this one's going off to a friend as well. So this one is actually in pristine condition, too. The sleeve is just beautiful. As you can see, it almost looks like it's new. And I played the single, and I mean, it was perfect. It's almost like it was never played, so really clean version of that. All right, UFO, which I'll be doing UFO collection video really soon. This is one of those. That'll also be shown again in that video. This is couldn't get it right off the Wild, Willing, and Anderson album from 1982, 83, somewhere in that area. Backed with a live version from 1980, Reading Rock Festival, Hot and Ready. This is just black vinyl. Oddly enough, again, I picked up 2 copies of this from the same seller for really cheap. I've just never owned it, never seen it, so I was glad to find a copy. Really stoked to find 2 copies, so I snagged them both. So the same friend of mine who's getting the Raven single is also getting one of these. So it's a friend of mine who we've been trading even longer than I do videos. So yeah, he's going to be being blessed with those 2 singles. Cool. This is another one. 80s. Unmasked Kiss. This is the single for Tears Are Falling. I've always liked this album. I know a lot of people didn't like this era of Kiss. I don't know. I was in college when this came out. I saw the band twice on this tour. I just loved Asylum. I think Eric Carr is a fantastic drummer. I always thought that I keep wanting to say Mark St. John, but it's oh my goodness, how did I forget his name? Talk about a brain fart. Bruce Kulick. Jeez, it's not even listed on the back. I just snapped when I saw his picture in the back. But anyhow, it's got the track Anyway You Slice It on the B-side. Any picture sleeve single by Kiss, if I see it for a decent price online, in a store, at a record show, I snag them because they just don't stick around very long. Kiss fans are fanatics and they snap up everything, and obviously I'm one of them because I picked this up. But I actually didn't have the 7-inch single picture sleeve in my collection, so really nice that I was able to find a copy of that. So, Tears Are Falling, Anyway You Slice It, U.S. pressing. Okay, next up, some new wave of British heavy metal. from Girl. Of course, everybody knows this band. They were kind of a sleazy, dirty pop metal band. I don't know how you want to describe them. I mean, these guys kind of preceded the whole pop metal scene or the glam metal scene from the 80s. I think the single was from 1980. I think this was their second single. Their first single came out in 79. Of course, two guys from this band ended up in even bigger bands, with Phil Lewis going into LA Guns, becoming their vocalist, and then I think it was it Phil Collins? Not Phil Collins from Genesis, but Phil Collin, guitar player who went into join Def Leppard for their more commercial period. So yeah, it's got You Really Got Me on the B-side, unreleased track, and then My Number, and then Hollywood Tease on the A-side, which is actually a fairly hard rock and heavy song for Girl. So there you go. Tease. I still need that first single. I've been looking for that for a while. The '79 single. This is on the, by the way, on the Jet label, which I believe was owned by, if I'm not mistaken, was Don Arden, which is Sharon Osbourne's father's label. I could be wrong on that, but I remember reading that in some book back in the day, Ozzy or Randy Rhoads or something like that. Girl, Hollywood Tease, nice addition to the new wave of British heavy metal collection. I got a few Japanese singles here, which is nice. These next bunch came from the same seller. If you've watched any of my past 7-inch single updates, like the last 4 or 5 I've done, I've just been buying up all the stuff from the same seller, because he's a U.S. seller. He's got really good prices on these things. I mean, $10 or less, and shipping is like $4 for the first one and $25 for everyone after that. And Japanese singles just don't sell for that here. They might sell for that in Japan, but then you got to pay $25 shipping. So I've just been buying them up. So Deep Purple. This is Highway Star, backed with Lazy. And I think this is 1972. I picked up 2 copies of this and sent the other one to a friend of mine, because, like I said, the prices were just unbelievable. So, like, you don't see Japanese singles for that price. And it's in the original, record company sleeve with the Japanese front cover on it. So, very cool single. I've been trying, I think I said it in the last video, to put little stickers on there so I know what year they come out, so I'm not just guessing. I'm usually pretty good about guessing, but sometimes I get it wrong. So when I remember, I put a little sticker on there, and I did it on this one. I think it's the only one in this whole batch I remember to do that on, so whatever. I keep saying to myself, next video you're going to do that, and I never do. Like, here you go. See, Deep Purple again. There's no year on here. This is from the Mach 2 reunion album, Perfect Strangers, and this is... let's see, we got Knock on Your Back Door, obviously, because that's what it says in the front. The B-side is Wasted Sunset. On the Polydor label, another Japanese pressing. Deep Purple, anything Deep Purple. I think I purchased every one of his Deep Purple singles. I don't think he has any left. So I got them all. And then I even bought the doubles that he had of some. And this is another band. He only had 2, and I grabbed both of them. This is Van Halen. This is Pretty Woman, backed with, I think it's Happy Trails, which is, kind of a goofy B-side track. It should have been a B-side track instead of an album track, but regardless. David Lee Roth era Van Halen from the 70s. Really a game changer, in my opinion, for heavy metal, when back at the time, disco was, king of the scene, and heavy metal was kind of a dying breed. Bands like, Sabbath and Zeppelin and Aerosmith, and these bands were kind of beginning to fizzle out by 78, 79, and Aerosmith and Van Halen breathed new life into that genre, in my opinion. And then we got Queen, a classic 70s one. This one was a little more, it might have been like $12, I can't remember. It wasn't too bad, though. But we got Killer Queen backed with Flick of the Wrist. Again, it's got the original Electra sleeve on the back. It's got the Japanese writing. All these, they're all pretty much the same when it comes to, the inserts. They have the color front cover, and then the back is usually, I'm blocking my light here. The back is usually the Japanese lyrics. In this case, it's got the Japanese and the English lyrics. And then one more Japanese single here that I picked up. And I grabbed this one more because of curiosity than anything else. I knew of this band. I even think I have an album by them, but I'm not a huge fan. Not even enough to remember the track. I had to go look up the tracks for them. And no surprise, I like the B-side track better than the A-side track, but this is the band Stryker. So this is about 77, 78. See, again, I didn't put a sticker on here. I should have. More Than Enough, and Wish. So cool, obscure, more obscure band on Arista label. So Striker, Japanese pressing. Does not have the. Let me see. Does it have the? Oh yeah, it does. So yeah, it does have the Japanese lyrics in the back, and I was thinking it was white for some reason, but yeah, it's got both. It does have the original EMI Toshiba sleeve in there, but this seller actually put it in a white sleeve to keep it pristine, so that was kind of nice. This next one I'm excited about. You knew I was going to have to show at least one from this band, right? This is a Spanish pressing of Aerosmith. This is Pun un Limite. I think that's how you say it. That's, like I said, Spanish pressing, so if my brother from Spain, Crocus, Rene, is watching, he can correct my Spanish if he wants. But Pon un Limite, I think is how you say it, or Draw the Line. Backed with Luz, Brio y Miedo. Bright Light Fright. It does have a sticker on it, which is a little unfortunate, but I may try and take it off, or I may just leave it. It's not that big a deal to me. It's a collector's item, not something I'm going to be playing all the time. It's just kind of the cool thing about these, especially the 70s singles, even the 80s ones, really. I don't need 30 different versions of Draw the Line because they all have the same cover from different countries, but all the covers for the 7-inch singles, man, depending on what country you went to, had a different sleeve. So that's kind of part of the reason I enjoy collecting these 7-inch singles so much. So really cool. I was really stoked to find this one at a decent price. Took forever to get here because I did order it from Spain, but it did come. So there it is. And anybody who's a fan of this band, you need at least 25 different versions of this single. But I think I've shown probably at least 5 or 6 or 7 versions of this single over the last year or so in videos. But this is Thin Lizzy, obviously. This is the power trio era of the band, with Whiskey in a Jar, backed with Black Boys in the Corner. This is on the Decca label. I believe this is a German pressing. I can't remember. Should look these things up before I do the video. Never do. I just wing it. Again, I'm just talking here. I'm not an expert on things. So, Thin Lizzy, Whiskey in a Jar. Always looking for Thin Lizzy singles to add to the collection. So I picked up 2 singles from this one. I couldn't decide which one I wanted to keep. I decided to send one to a friend because I just didn't want to be a hoarder and keep them all to myself. So, but this is Phil Lynott. Obviously Thin Lizzy. This is King's Call back with Yellow Pearl. So I picked up this cool picture sleeve version of it, but I also picked up another version on the Vertigo label that comes in a just a clear sleeve, and then it's got just a giant picture of Phil Lynott on the one side, which I thought that was really cool. So I was like torn. Do I send him this one or do I send him that one? Well, I ended up sending him the other one because I don't know, I couldn't decide, and that one was rather cool. I'd never seen it before, so Steve, Harmless Rebel, I'm sure he's going to have a video up soon showing that 7-inch record, so thought that was cool. So one for him, one for me. Okay, still Thin Lizzy related, but not Thin Lizzy. This is Gary Moore. This is Separate Ways. This is on the Virgin label. This is more of his blues kind of stuff. Much like Lizzy or Phil Lynott, I'm always looking for stuff. Only Fool in Town is on the B-side, and it's from the After Hours album. I'm not sure where this one was pressed. It's a Virgin, so I'm gonna assume this is probably from the UK. Yes, UK. It says right on the back, pressed in the UK. So there you go. I haven't even put this one in a proper sleeve yet. This one just came in the mail the other day, so really cool. Couple from Richie Blackmore's Rainbow. This is from the post Dio era, but this is I Surrender from. See if there's a picture of the album on the back. There is not. Just another picture from that same, obviously from the same photo shoot that the album was. I Surrender backed with, what is on the B-side? I Surrender backed with Maybe Next Time. And I don't know just what pressing this is either. Oh, it's a UK, made in England, so this is a UK pressing. From the Difficult to Cure album, obviously, if you can tell just by the cover art. And then This is Can't Happen Here, also from the same album, Difficult to Cure. Cool band picture photo on the front. Also a UK pressing. This is what, 1981. A lot of Deep Purple connections here besides Richie Blackmore. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Roger Glover was actually playing in the band at the time, but he also produced the album on top of it. So, so you got Can't Happen Here and Jealous Lover, and for the life of me, I can't. I think it's a live version of Jealous Lover, but I can't 100% remember. I did play it, but I've already forgotten. So, old age kicking in, right? And then the version of Jealous Lover here is actually different than the album version. It does say on the back, it's in small print, that it was a remixed version, so it's very different than the original version. I mean, the time song is about the same, but it definitely does sound different. So. This one I showed in a VCLT video that I did from my friend Dwayne, but man, I just had to show it again because it's such a cool picture sleeve single. This is from the Christian hard rock band Petra. Love that cover art. Love the single. It's on the Star Song label. You just don't see these ever. So I was stoked to get this in the mail from him, and I had to just show it in a separate 7-inch video. Backed with, let's see, Thankful Heart. Backed with, what was on the B side? Back on the Street, which is the title track from the album. This is probably what, 85 when this came out. 86. Was it 86 or 85? I don't know. Can't read it. It's too small. It's 85, 86, somewhere in that area, mid 80s. Cool cover though. Kind of has a similar vibe or feel that Boston had with their spaceship guitar thing going on. Obviously it's a little different, but it's still a really cool cover. Awesome graphics. Way out of the spectrum here for me. This is not hard rock, this is not heavy metal, but this is a band that I just liked since I was a kid. My dad was a fan when he was a kid. He turned me onto their records, and I still have a couple of my dad's old records. So whenever I see singles from this band, decently priced, especially picture sleeve singles, I grab them. This is a Dave Clark 5. These guys, kind of a similar vibe to the Beatles and that kind of thing. But they had a lot of hit singles, even though they're not as well known today as like a band like the Beatles or the Stones. But a lot of bands have covered their songs. I mean, Kiss comes to mind. TT Quick's another one. Glad All Over. TT Quick did. But this is great. They're a great band. Like I said, very different from what I usually listen to or show. But Dave Clark 5. This is I believe a U.S. pressing on the Epic label. Pretty much the same on the front and back. At the Scene, backed with I Miss You. Let's see if there's a year on here, because I don't know the Dave Clark 5 well enough to tell you years without looking. No, I don't. There's not even a year listed on here anywhere. So this is, I'm gonna say, late '60s. So really cool for my collection. I know a lot of you guys who watch my stuff that prefer metal or hard rock or that kind of stuff probably aren't into this kind of stuff, but whatever. It's still something I enjoy and add it to my collection. All right, last one, and then we're done, which is good because I'm now well into this one. This is from like 2003. In the original Epic sleeve, this is Ozzy Osbourne. This is Gets Me Through album version with Gets Me Through, I think it's the same song on both sides. It is. And they're both stereo. So basically a promo single for Ozzy Osbourne in the original Epic sleeve. Just odd to see a 7-inch single from the 2000s. Not something you've seen a whole lot of, but it was a very inexpensive single. I think I only paid like $2 or $3 for it, so I snatched it up. So there you go. That's my 7-inch vinyl update for January of 2022. And appreciate y'all watching. Please leave a comment below. That's it. God bless. Stay strong.